Hello, dear folks, ladies and gentlemen, good friends of mine, good friends of everybody. So far as you're concerned about your own life, you better be interested in the show because we're talking about your right. Speaking of rights, though, this is a nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all, if I may quote from our allegiance. Am I right?
Yes.
All right, now, not even a word missing. Am I right? Mm-hmm. Okay, now, if I'm going to emphasize, I'll emphasize on word for all, right? For all. That means you mentioned the fact that we, American Chinese, do not yet have a voice as strong as blacks.
Not at all.
As strong as Hispanics.
Not at all.
As strong as white, right?
No.
But the word for all says it, even if you are weaker, even if you have no voice at all, do you deserve the same right? You do. Okay. At the ending of the last segment, we say that was only a slogan. So what's your comment, John? Because I believe you're educated here and you've been here for so long, like me, myself. That's why we get along so well. Mm-hmm. We're friends. So how do you read about American freedom?
Oh, America is a free country. Mm-hmm. That's like what I said.
Yeah.
And it's for all. Mm-hmm. And so the freedom, we have to fight for it. Mm-hmm. Just like...
good point.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like we have a Pakistan lady who just came from Pakistan. She was fighting for the freedom of education, mm-hmm. and she created a big sensation in Washington too. So that's what we should do here, and that's what, in addition of fighting for life, and we're fighting for freedom, and we can find a freedom in America. But there's some unexpected, some incidents happening around us, and which is not making it's a free opportunity.
Of course, yeah.
And we should be aware of it. We should have our voice on it, and we should put it right. So that's my idea.
All right, okay, good. Well, you know what, after all, it is always good to be hopeful, to be optimistic, right? So far, we are optimistic. Even though we strongly criticize denouncing these wrongdoings, we are still the people holding the optimism rather than pessimism, right? So that's why we're here. Otherwise, we'll give up, right? And now, so back to Mr. Chang, Attorney Chang. I believe that now that you brought some examples of the past, and now we're thinking, we believe, we trust that ABC, at least our people there are doing some considerations. At least they're thinking, oh my God, what shall we do? At least they're thinking about that, right? And I believe with the very gentleman, Mr. Jimmy Kimmel, he's doing the same thing too. Now, to educate the public, right, including our audiences, what shall we do to prevent such a thing from happening again? We have enough of that. We have enough of that, right?
Well, first, we really have to advance our political strengths, position. So registering as a voter, and then put Asians, good Asian people, into politics. Go to Washington, just like they have more Jewish congressmen, senators.
Just like the blacks and the Jews did.
Absolutely. That's the only way to advocate your rights, to recognize you. When you say equal protection under law, it's just an empty slogan. It costs you money to go to assert your rights. You cannot even go to court for that.
Exactly.
We need politicians. We have to different kind of protection. Another thing I want to go beyond is that ABC apology is not enough. We need a consensus, a concerted efforts from all the public media, NBC, CBS, to think about it and say, look, we as an industry, we should do something about it. All right? We should find a way to convince ABC saying, look, from now on, we should be more sensitive to racial issues. We should try to prevent in the future any improper remarks at any level. And that's the way I think we will get more impact and a far more reaching impact on those people than how you educate the public.
All right.
Come in, let's say we force him to apologize. It's not enough. it will recur. It will happen again. We should go beyond, convince the entire media industry. ABC,
and
NBC.
also, when they do apologize, you make sure they have apologizing mind.
No,
From the bottom of the heart, they are apologizing, not on the lips. Because the lips will not prevent it from happening again. Only by the bottom of the heart.
Yes.
That will, right? So, John, what's your comment about how we shall prevent such things? No matter how you comment it, it is a bad thing anyway, right? How we shall prevent it from happening again?
We, as Chinese community, we do have great progress of getting into this mainstream. Like we have done media. Now we didn't have it about 10 years ago. We don't have our own radio.
Sure.
We had the radio, but we don't have our television. And now we have so many media access to voice our point of view. And so that's the way we can express our opinions. And another way, we have to interact with these other nationalities in this country and know their way of life and try to understand. Instead of creating a kind of confrontation, I still think we need to have more understanding and try to express our view of ideas.
And also, I do agree. I 100% agree with John. I'm very thankful he mentioned the fact that the gap between cultures, right? For a very simple example, if I see your wife, I say, "Oh my God, your wife is so sexy." You will feel offended.
Yeah, as Chinese. Yeah.
And this is so commonly said to among my American-born American friends. Oh, they feel proud. They feel proud I have a sexy wife like that, right? So those are the areas we want to make them aware that, whatever you think okay might not be okay to other group of people. To be aware, the awareness of it, right? So this is not in the law area, this is a cultural area. So I know you're a good translator, and he's a very good translator. And for my audience, he is one of the best translators in Southern California. This is take my word for it. Now, so especially when you're a translator, you do notice the cultural difference, right?
Yes.
For the same expression, the English has its own way to express it, and Chinese the other way. However, saying the same thing, right? Okay, now, so you think this is the area that will function in the future, or we should emphasize in the future?
Yes, that's. I do hear the people saying that Chinese people going up to the court and they express something which the translating is not the proper, and they even make the whole verdict different, and they say this is what I said, and that's importance and this culture. Even American judges, they don't know the Chinese culture. They will not understand. They just to take in from word for word from the translators. So we do need to explain all the correct understanding of the translation and also the wording, and even with some background explanation, further definitions, some background explanations for the.
Yeah, it looks to me that if you are doing a long time translation, you get an understanding of both cultures. And I wish every American gets understanding of all cultures, things will get better, right?
Yes.
Very good.
They will get it.
All right, good. And with the problem being said, we still keep our fingers crossed because, this is the world. And also, Mr. Chang, I try to comfort myself. Okay, now, this land, the African Americans came to this land much way earlier than we did, than we Chinese American did. We came here in big quantities only starting of 1850 or 1860, 160 years ago, right? Whereas black people, African Americans, right, or Native Indians, they stay here longer enough. Whatever they have, political right or whatever, right-wise, are earned during their long course of history. And to us, 160 years, we made it so far, is something to hold on to be proud of already, even though not sufficient. All right?
Yes.
You think so, right? Okay. Now, I believe my point is acceptable to my audience too. To my audience, thank you very much for participating in this discussion. I know this is important. This is really, 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 everybody of you is at stake, right? So thank you for joining us. And to my two guests, two dear friends, thank you very much for taking time on the show. I appreciate that.
It's my pleasure.
All right. This is not done yet. We'll be back.